Hello friends, my name is Shashank and welcome back to my channel Corporate Guy. And today in this video, we are going to learn about how to write a job description for a CCTV camera. Yes, you heard me right. That how to write a job description. Because job descriptions generally associated with the employees. But you will be surprised to know that installing a new camera and hiring a new employee is exactly similar. We have to identify the job description, we have to write down the job description, we have to specify the skills, we have to specify the KPIs for that employee, and exactly similar for the CCTV camera, because CCTV camera is going to serve us. We are commissioning that camera. We are putting a money into that camera so that we can get the ROI. Right? So in this video, I am going to give you a step-by-step detailed instructions or the detailed explanation that how to write a job description for your CCTV camera. So let's start this video. So this is step number one. Step number one is that you have to justify, you have to write down in detail that what is the purpose of your video surveillance system. Because whenever we try to install a camera, it's not a single camera. There is a lot of hardware and software associated with that single CCTV camera. So we call it a video surveillance setup. So before you go into the market or try to find a vendor, you just have to write down in detailed manner that why I'm going to invest in that video surveillance system. So that is the step number one. You have to write down the complete justification that why do you need the video surveillance system at the first place. So we call it writing down the purpose of your video surveillance system. So that is the step number one. And then after you finish justifying that why do you need the video surveillance system, the step number two comes that why do you need so many cameras in your video surveillance system and what is the purpose of each camera in your video surveillance system. For example, you have identified 10 CCTV cameras to install in your premises. So you have to justify, you have to find out the reasons, you have to give the reasons that why do I need a particular camera in that particular location. So that is called the purpose of each camera. You have to write it down, because if you don't do it, you will not be having the clear picture that why do I need this specific camera. So that is the step number two. And then comes the step number three. You have to identify the field of view which you want to put into surveillance through those CCTV cameras. So that is the step number three. You have to identify, you have to survey the locations and be very, very clear that what I am exactly trying to achieve by installing a camera in that particular location and why not in another location. So that is step number three, right? So this is all what we are doing is writing down the job description of each camera, just like we do for the employees, right? So now step number four. This is very interesting because if we try to associate it with the employees, these are the skills which we look into in the employees. So these are the features which we look into the CCTV cameras. So the step number four is to write down what are the features you need in your CCTV camera. So under the features, there are three important features, or you will say the characteristics which we try to get in our CCTV camera. So the number one is sensitivity. So what is sensitivity? Sensitivity is just the ability of your camera to produce a clear picture in the minimum available light, just like our eyes. Right? In the broad daylight, we can see easily, but in the night, we struggle to even see even a single thing, right? So this is just like our eyes that we have to identify, we have to write down, we have to find out the technicalities that what should be the sensitivity of my CCTV camera. And based on this sensitivity, we have three types of cameras. The number one is full light cameras. So full light cameras are those cameras which can work in a broad daylight conditions. Even in night, if you can produce sufficient light, they will produce good picture. And second one is the lower light. So lower light means they can work easily in the dawn and dusk like conditions, right? And the number third is low light. Low light means the camera can even work in even complete darkness, right? So full light, lower light, and low light. So that is the sensitivity. And then comes the resolution. So what is resolution? Resolution is simply the number of pixels per foot. The more the pixels, the higher will be the picture quality, just like our smartphone screens, right? So based on the resolution, you have to identify, you have to write down, or you have to just have a clear picture that what should be the resolution of my CCTV camera picture quality, right? So that is the resolution. So based on resolution, you can have high density or high definition cameras, right? You can have the megapixel cameras, right? So there are different types of cameras which you can choose under the resolution category. And then comes the features other than sensitivity and resolution. So under the features, we have automatic gain control, we have electronic iris, electronic shuttering, backlight compensation. So all these things I cannot explain in one video. I will make another video to explain these features one by one, right? So based on these features, you have to pick your you can say the specific camera, that why I need and what should be the specification of that each camera which I am trying to install in my location, right? So the step number 5 is finding a right lens for your camera, which includes 3 steps. Number 1 is the format size. Now what is format size? Format size is the size of the chip on which the light falls after it passes through the lens. So based on the size of the format, you have to pick your lens. Number 2 is distance of object from the camera. So what is the distance which you are trying to put into surveillance through your CCTV camera? So based on that, you have to pick the right focal length for your lens, right? And then you pick the lens. And number 3 is the field of view. What type of field you are trying to put into surveillance? Is it a wide area? Is it a distance area? So based on that, you have to pick the right lens. That can be wide angle lens, the telephoto lens, right? So based on that, there are 3 types of lenses. The first one is the fixed lens, right? Then we have the varifocal lens, and then we have the telephoto lens. So I will explain these lenses in my another video, right? So that was the step number 5. Then comes the step number 6. The step number 6 is how do you transmit your videos from CCTV to your recording location or to your control room. So that is the step number 6, that what type of transmission medium you are going to include in your video surveillance setup. You can use coaxial cables for your analog cameras, you can go with the twisted pair cables for your IP cameras, or you can go with the optical fiber if you have the distance, if you have a longer distance more than 1 kilometer between your CCTV camera and your control room or your recording location. So that was the 6 steps which can help you to write the job description for your CCTV camera. The step number 1 was writing the purpose of your video surveillance setup. The step number 2 was writing the purpose of each camera in your video surveillance setup. Step number 3 was field of view, what you are trying to view through your cameras. Step number 4 was choosing a camera style which includes sensitivity, resolution, and features. The step number 5 was choosing the right lens for your camera, and the step number 6 was choosing the right transmission medium for your video surveillance setup. So that was all for today's video, and I hope you understood the concept and you will be able to write down the job description for your video surveillance setup and your CCTV cameras more efficiently. So thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.